A federal appeals court temporarily halted President Biden's student debt relief program in November, placing all debt cancellation on hold. The Department of Education has stopped accepting loan applications during the halt, but said it would ultimately hold all previously submitted applications. Nearly 2 months after President Biden announced that the federal government would cancel up to 20,000 worth of federal student loans, the program began accepting applications from eligible borrowers, which leads us in today's question: what will be the ultimate fate of President Biden's loan cancellation plan? Well, it will be shot down. And it's because of these key reasons. One, the court is conservative. Two, federal overreach. And three, lawsuits. Now let's break this down. First, starting with the court, is too conservative. For a number of reasons, Iran predicts that Supreme Court will rule against Biden, a political insider. He said that the conservative justices believe the government agencies exert too much authority and violate the separation of powers. In addition, he said that the concept of loan forgiveness seems to run counter to their notions of individual responsibilities. Such a politically fueled decision, however, is likely to further damage the public's perception of the Supreme Court. Striking down forgiveness will add to a growing skepticism that the conservative justices vote for conservatives and the liberal justices vote for liberals. Just 25% of Americans have confidence in the highest court, a Gallup poll found over the summer. If the president's plan is blocked, it will be another example, along with abortion and guns, of the court taking positions that a majority of Americans oppose. And in a poll conducted by The Economist and YouGov in August, 51% of respondents said that they support Biden's loan relief plan, but around 40% opposed the initiative. In the past, the Supreme Court usually ruled in line with public opinion, but today we have a court that is one-sided or the other. And with that side, the Supreme Court, is heavily vested on the conservative side, and thus will reject Biden's plan here to cancel debt. Which leads me into my second key point here, which is the federal overreach. Beyond the popularity of its debt relief plan, the Biden administration insists that it's acting within the law, pointing out that the HEROES Act of 2003 grants the Education Secretary the authority to waive regulations related to student loans during the national emergencies. The U.S. has been operating under an emergency declaration since March of 2020. However, lawmakers and lawyers for the GOP-led states argue that the administration should not be able to use the public health crisis issue such a sweeping policy. The administration is once again invoking the COVID-19 pandemic to assert power far beyond any Congress could have conceived. The lawyers, in a brief to the justices, wrote that pointing out the highest court previously stopped the White House nationwide ban on evictions. Advocacy groups in recent brief to the U.S. Supreme Court said that student debt forgiveness was essential to the country's recovery from the pandemic. The public health crisis exacerbated the financial difficulties for borrowers who have for decades been at the mercy of broken student loan system. Without cancellation, they warned, working and middle-class borrowers are at substantial risk of default. But with this, you bring the insight of having federal overreach that the Biden administration is taking to utilize that to enable his plan for loan cancellation. And in a sense, these very people, these lawmakers and lawyers of the GOP, will go against Biden's plan and ultimately shut it down, which leads me into my third key point here is that the lawsuits facing this Biden's plan, which is the lawsuits plaintiff is one of them is Frank Garrison, a Pacific Legal Foundation attorney in Indiana, who received a Pell Grant to attend a college and qualifies for $20,000 in the debt forgiveness under Biden's plan because he makes less than $125,000 a year. But the lawsuit hinges on the income taxes that will be applied to the student debt forgiveness in some states, arguing that the debt cancellation will cause Garrison to incur a financial obligation that he would not otherwise have faced. Garrison has been paying off his student loans through the Pacific Service Loan Forgiveness Program, which offers debt forgiveness to borrowers who pursue public service careers. And he is expected to receive full forgiveness through the PSLF program in about 4 years. But under Biden's original plan, about 8 million borrowers who qualify for debt forgiveness and whose financial information is already on file with the Department of Education, including Garrison, will have forgiveness automatically applied to their accounts beginning in October. He argues, Garrison, that the problem because have to pay income taxes on the debt forgiveness, and in 7 states, including Indiana, are planning to tax student debt forgiveness as income. According to analysis by Tax Foundation, an independent nonprofit focused on tax policy specifically, Garrison lawsuit claims that while his debt forgiveness would not be taxed if he continued under the PSL program, he will owe more than $1,000 in income taxes if he automatically receives the $20,000 in forgiveness under Biden's plan. Frank will be struck with a tax bill that makes him financially worse off than continuing his repayment program under the PSLF. And he did not ask for cancellation, doesn't want it, and has no way to opt out of it. And so the White House announced that Tuesday that the borrowers will have to chance to opt out if they don't want to receive the debt relief. White House Press Secretary Crane Jen Perry said that the Department of Education would release more information on how to do that before the program launches. But the bottom line is that no one who does not want debt relief will have to get the debt relief, she said. And Shugman says that he believes that Garrison has weak legal standing because he will be able to opt out of the debt forgiveness. And he says that the Biden administration would have an even stronger case if they require borrowers to opt in to receive debt relief. The financial policy has an opt-in feature, then someone like this plaintiff really has no claim of outstanding Sherman says. But if the Biden administration would be finalizing a opt-in feature. And so in its present state, it does not have that feature. And in a sense, there are lawsuits that are continuing to go against Biden's cancellation plan on loan, in a sense that it is the opt-in feature or in the opt-out feature, as well as lawsuits that are concerning that maybe it is unequitable access to different people. And so ultimately, what will be the ultimate fate of President Biden's cancellation plan? Well, it will be shut down. And it is because of these key reasons, again, of one, the court is too conservative and will overthrow the opinion of the court to vote and veto on President Biden's not against his side. And two, the people of America will feel, and lawyers and the GOP will feel that Biden's actions are federal overreach and charge and bring lawsuits against Biden and the Biden administration, including the Department of Education, which leads to my third point here is that it's lawsuits that are going to concur against Biden's loan cancellation plan, which leads me, as Gregory Gadara, a political science professor at Ohio State University, puts it, the court's conservatives have been very aggressive in striking down the decisions of Congress and the president. And so ultimately, I think it will be shot down. Thank you.